So I'm delighted now to turn to Angela Constance, who is the Cabinet Secretary for the Communities, Social Security and Equalities in Scotland. And the Scottish Government recently launched a 10-year strategy on social enterprise, so we're delighted to hear more about that and indeed the broader social enterprise sector in Scotland.
Thank you. Thank you very much for that kind introduction, Tristan. Can I say I'm absolutely thrilled to be able to attend this year's Social Enterprise World Forum, because the World Forum shows us all that we are indeed part of a global community of collaborators, all dedicated to harnessing the potential of this innovative way of doing business. And I am very proud that Scotland, an outwardly looking nation by its nature, continues to be an active partner in this movement, sharing and learning in equal measure. For Scotland, like many other countries, we have a long, proud history of socially responsible business, from Robert Owen in the 19th century, who built a utopian cooperative village around his cotton mill on the banks of the River Clyde, to the emergence of community businesses in the 1980s. And with this legacy in our back pocket, it will perhaps come as no surprise that the Scottish Government chose to embrace this latest movement, the social enterprise movement, and to embrace it with open arms. Working shoulder to shoulder with Scotland's social enterprise community, we have worked hard over the last 10 years to establish a holistic ecosystem of support. This support infrastructure now features national incubators, accelerators, free business and procurement advice, leadership training and affordable social investment. And to maintain this momentum, giving an ambitious trajectory for the next decade, in December last year we launched a new 10-year national social enterprise strategy, going on to publish the first of 3 underpinning action plans a few months later. Recognising the value the Scottish Government places on social enterprise, so far this year we've already invested £6.5 million, which is around 12 million New Zealand dollars, in projects and programmes aligned to our action plan. And we've done things like relaunch our schools programme with the commitment to get social enterprise learning into every school in Scotland, as well as doubling the amount of seed capital that's available for start-ups, and extending our national community shares programme. And this is all very well, you may say, but to answer the question posed to us all today, why does the Scottish Government care so much about social enterprise? In essence, it's not just the right thing to do, it's actually the smart thing to do. And on the one hand, I could say absolutely investing in social enterprise makes good economic sense. Every 2 years we conduct a national census of the sector to demonstrate the size and scale and the impact of the sector. So we know the sector in Scotland is growing, with 5,600 social enterprises that length and breadth of Scotland. We know that the sector employs in excess of 80,000 people. We know that 64% of social enterprises in Scotland, I'm very pleased to say, are led by women. We know that 70% of social enterprises are accountable to the community that they seek to serve, and that 79% of social enterprises in Scotland are selling services and products direct to the public. So we know that the sector is making a huge contribution, a contribution to our economy of over £2 billion a year. That's around 3.7 billion New Zealand dollars. But as many of you here today will know only too well, social enterprise is about so much more than the bottom line. And from the social enterprises that I have visited in Scotland and indeed here in Christchurch, it is clear to me that social enterprise leaders the world over are driven by an overriding passion to improve the communities in which they live. There is a collective determination that is as powerful as it is inspirational, helping to create a more peaceful, fair and inclusive world. And in Scotland, we're particularly blessed. I'm not going to list every social enterprise, and certainly not going to list all 5,600 of them, but I do want to mention three in particular. We have a social enterprise called Brew Gooder, who sell craft beer in more than 200 supermarkets across the UK, and this Scottish social enterprise donates 100% of its profits to clean water projects around the world. We have another social enterprise called Lingo Flamingo. It's located in Glasgow, and it's teaching Spanish, French and German to older people to prevent the onset of dementia. And a project I visited recently, the Inverness Impact Hub, Scotland's first ever impact hub, part of a global network of more than 80 social innovative incubators around the world, stimulating and supporting social enterprise in the Highlands and Islands region. So here we have three examples, living, breathing examples of social enterprises that are doing so much good at home in Scotland and indeed further afield. And the great strength of the social enterprise movement is that it's a living, breathing, practical example of what inclusive growth really means. And for the Scottish Government, growing our economy is imperative, but we want sustainable economic growth. We want inclusive growth. We want to grow our economy, create more and better jobs, but we also want to see a fairer Scotland. And the social enterprise movement is very much at the heart of that, because it's helping to build more sustainable, vibrant communities. It's helping to make democracies more alive. It is helping to change the lives not just of individual citizens, but it's turning around the prospects of individual communities. So in Scotland, as in further afield, we have much to celebrate about the achievements of our social enterprise sector. But of course the challenge to us all is that we can never rest on our laurels. There is never any room for complacency. So it's always about what next, what more can we aspire to do, and what more can we achieve, both for our citizens at home and abroad. Thank you very much.
Okay, well, thank you very much. And I think just reiterating the point about the need for evidence, the census in Scotland and the data that you have is really, really important to demonstrate to government just the role and impact that social enterprises are having. And I'm very pleased to hear about the craft beer. So knowing that I can change the world while I have a beer is very exciting.